The meteor shower lit up the night sky above Outpost 87. Bright streaks of light flashed across the darkness as space rocks burned through the thin atmosphere of the small moon. Tae-ho Kim watched from the window of his repair bay, taking a rare break from his work. "Beautiful," he whispered, sipping his coffee. The cup was chipped, just like everything else at this remote repair station on the edge of human space. At 28, Tae-ho was already the best mechanic at the outpost. His hands could fix almost anything with moving parts. The company valued his skills, but not enough to give him better quarters or a raise. Still, he loved his job. Machines made sense to him in a way people never did. A particularly bright meteor crashed somewhere behind the station, making the ground shake. Tae-ho's tools rattled on his workbench. That was close, he said to himself. He put down his cup and grabbed his jacket. Protocol said to check for damage after meteor hits. The air outside was thin and cold. Tae-ho pulled his jacket tighter as he walked toward the scrapyard behind his repair bay. The beam from his flashlight bounced across piles of old ship parts and broken machines. Then he heard it, a soft, pained sound unlike anything he had heard before. Not quite a cry, not quite a growl. "Hello," Tae-ho called out, moving his light toward the sound. The beam landed on something that made Tae-ho freeze. Among the scrap metal lay a creature unlike anything in the known galaxy. It was about the size of a large dog, with white scales that seemed to glow faintly in the darkness. Four legs ended in clawed feet that scratched weakly at the ground. But most striking were the wing-like structures extending from its back. One was folded neatly, the other bent at a wrong angle. Tae-ho knew the rules. All unknown alien life forms must be reported immediately. The company would send scientists who would take the creature away for study. They weren't known for being gentle. The creature's eyes opened, silver orbs that reflected the flashlight beam. In them, Tae-ho saw fear and pain. And something else, intelligence. "You're hurt," Tae-ho said softly, kneeling down a few meters away. "I don't know what you are, but I'm not going to hurt you." The creature made that sound again, a clicking whistle that ended in a whimper. It tried to move away, but collapsed in obvious pain. Tae-ho thought quickly. His heart said help the creature. His brain reminded him of company rules, and the many ways he could lose his job. Or worse. The creature looked at him again, and somehow Tae-ho felt understood. "To hell with protocol," he muttered, making a decision he would never regret. Tae-ho took off his jacket and approached slowly. "I'm going to help you," he said, keeping his voice calm and even. "But I need to move you somewhere safe." With careful movements, he wrapped his jacket around the creature, avoiding the broken wing. It was surprisingly light for its size. The scales felt warm under his hands, almost vibrating with energy. The creature didn't fight him. It watched Tae-ho's face with those silver eyes as he lifted it. "My quarters are small, but no one goes there," Tae-ho told it, not sure if it understood. "I can hide you there while I figure out how to fix your wing." The walk back to his living space felt endless. Every shadow seemed like a company inspector who would catch him breaking the rules. But they made it without being seen. In the safety of his small room, Tae-ho gently placed the creature on his bed. Under the proper light, its white scales shimmered with rainbow colors. The broken wing had a strange structure, not like a bird's wing or a bat's. The bones seemed to be made of some crystalline material. "I don't know what you are," Tae-ho said, "but I know machines, and bones are just natural machines." The creature clicked softly, its silver eyes never leaving Tae-ho's face. "I'm going to help you," Tae-ho promised. "Just trust me." As if understanding perfectly, the creature settled down. Tae-ho got to work, his life forever changed by this unexpected encounter from the stars. 3 weeks passed since Tae-ho found the strange white creature. He kept it hidden in his small room, away from the curious eyes of other workers. His quarters became a secret hospital and lab. "I think I'll call you Bake," Tae-ho said one morning as he changed the splint on the creature's wing. It means white in my language. Seems to fit you. Vake clicked softly, the sound Taiho now recognized as agreement. The creature's intelligence was clear. It watched Taiho work with those silver eyes that seemed to understand everything. Taiho studied the wing carefully. The break was healing, but not fast enough. The crystalline bone structure was unlike anything he had seen before. Your wings are like machines, Taiho told back. Beautiful machines, but I need better materials to help you heal properly. That night, Taiho borrowed some rare metals from the repair shop. No one would miss them from the large supply. Back in his room, he used his portable tools to create a better support for Boxwing. This should help, he said, carefully attaching the new device. The metal will bend with your movements, but keep the bone straight as it heals. Bake stretched the wings slightly, testing the new support. Then the creature made a new sound, a soft purring that made Taiho smile. You're welcome, he said. Days turned into weeks. Taiho smuggled food from the mess hall, discovering Bak preferred protein-rich items. The creature grew stronger. Its white scales began to shine brighter, sometimes glowing softly in the darkroom. Taiho was amazed to find that Bake could understand his language. The creature couldn't speak, but it communicated through clicks, whistles, and body movements. They developed their own way of talking. Are you some kind of space dragon? Taiho asked one evening. You look like dragons from old Earth stories. Bake tilted its head, then used a claw to draw shapes in the dust on the floor. Taiho saw stars, planets, and what looked like more creatures like Bake flying between them. You travel in space. Naturally. Taiho was shocked. Without ships. Bake nodded, then pointed to its broken wing and made a sad whistle. Don't worry, Taiho said. You'll fly again. One day, Taiho returned to his quarters looking worried. Bake immediately sensed something was wrong. Bad news, Taiho said, pacing the small room. Company inspectors are coming tomorrow. They check everything, even private quarters. Bake's silver eyes widened in what Taiho now recognized as fear. We need to get you out of here, Taiho said. Your wing is better, but not fully healed. Can you survive in space like this? Bake made an unsure motion with its head. Not quite yes, not quite no. It's our only choice, Taiho said. I could lose my job for hiding you. But that's not what worries me. The company would take you for study, and they're not kind to specimens. That night, when the station was quiet, Taiho wrapped Bake in a thermal blanket and carried the creature through the empty hallways. His heart pounded with every step, expecting to be caught at any moment. They reached an airlock in the maintenance section, rarely used and away from cameras. This is goodbye, I guess, Taiho said, his voice tight. He checked the wing support one last time. It should hold. Just don't stress it until it's fully healed. Bake looked at Taiho with those intelligent silver eyes. Then the creature raised a claw and gently touched Taiho's face. A feeling of warmth and gratitude flowed through the touch. You're welcome, Taiho whispered. He opened the airlock's inner door. Bake entered the small chamber, turning to look back once more. Taiho raised his hand in a goodbye wave. Good luck out there, he said. The inner door closed. Taiho activated the cycle. The outer door opened to the vastness of space, and just like that, Bake was gone. Taiho stood there for a long time, staring at the stars. He wondered if he would ever know what happened to the strange white dragon from the stars. 25 years passed like a dream. Taiho Kim, now 53 years old, stared at the blueprint on his screen. Gray touched his temples and lines marked his face, but his hands were still steady. Years of working with the smallest ship parts had kept them that way. Taiho's small office in New Seoul had a view of the city skyline. The Kim Aerospace logo glowed on the wall behind his desk. He had come a long way from that lonely repair station at the edge of space. Sometimes, late at night when he couldn't sleep, Taiho thought about the strange white creature he had saved long ago. He wondered if Bake had survived in the cold emptiness of space with a half-healed wing. Most times, he assumed the poor thing had died shortly after leaving the station. Just a strange chapter in my life, he would tell himself. Tai-ho rubbed his tired eyes and looked back at the blueprint. This new engine design had to work. Kim Aerospace, the company he had helped build, was in trouble. Mr. Kim, his assistant, stood at the door. The board is waiting for your update. Tai-ho nodded and gathered his notes. The meeting room was on the top floor, with windows that showed the busy spaceport in the distance. 12 serious faces turned to look at him as he entered. The prototype is behind schedule, said Director Park without greeting. Dayang Interstellar will beat us to market at this rate. Tai-ho took a deep breath. We have challenges with the cooling system. The metals we're using can't handle the heat. Then find metals that can. Director Park said, this project is our last chance. If we fail, the company fails. Back in his office, Tai-ho felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Nearly 300 people worked for Kim Aerospace. All of them would lose their jobs if the company went under. That night, Tai-ho stayed late, working on the impossible problem. The new engine could revolutionize space travel, but only if they solved the cooling issue. As the office grew quiet around him, Tai-ho's eyes grew heavy. He dozed off at his desk, his dreams filled with strange white creatures flying through space. Tai-ho woke with a start. His screen was flashing with a new file. Cooling system redesign. What the, he mumbled, sitting up straight. He hadn't created this file. Nobody had access to his private workstation except him. The design on the screen showed a cooling system unlike anything he had seen before. It used a crystalline structure that reminded him of. No, Tai-ho whispered. It can't be. The design looked like Bak's wing bones from all those years ago. The same strange, efficient structure that could bend without breaking, that could handle extreme temperatures. Tai-ho checked the system logs. There was no record of anyone accessing his computer. No trace of where the file had come from. For the next week, mysterious technical solutions appeared on his system. Each one solved a problem his team was struggling with. Each design had the same efficient, crystalline patterns. Security scans found nothing. No breaches, no hacks, nothing. Someone is helping us, Tai-ho told Director Park. I don't know who or how, but these designs work. With the mysterious help, the prototype engine came together quickly. The test date was moved up. Tomorrow we either make history or go bankrupt, Director Park told Tai-ho the night before the big test. That night, Tai-ho stood on his apartment balcony, looking at the stars. The cool night air made him think of that maintenance airlock from long ago. Was it you, Bak? He whispered to the sky. After all these years, a shooting star streaked across the night, bright white against the darkness. Tai-ho smiled at the coincidence. He didn't notice the slight shimmer in the air above him, or the soft click that sounded like a greeting from long ago. The test chamber hummed with energy. Tai-ho stood behind the safety glass, watching as technicians prepared the new engine prototype. Screens around him showed temperature readings, power levels, and stress factors. Begin primary ignition, Tai-ho said into his microphone. The engine core glowed blue, then white. The room filled with the sound of controlled power. So far, so good. Director Park stood beside Tai-ho, arms crossed. Looks promising. We're at 40% power. A technician called out. All systems normal. Take it to 60%, Tai-ho ordered. The engine's glow intensified. The mysterious cooling system was working perfectly. Tai-ho allowed himself a small smile. 70%, the technician reported. Still stable. Let's push it to 90, Director Park said, excitement in his voice. Tai-ho nodded, though something felt wrong. A small blip on one of the monitors caught his eye. Wait, he started to say. Too late. The engine's power level surged past 80%, and a warning alarm blared. Cooling system pressure dropping. A technician shouted. Temperature rising in Section 3. Tai-ho's heart sank. This was it. The failure that would end Kim Aerospace. "Shut it down," he yelled. "We can't. The controls aren't responding." The engine core flashed bright red. Catastrophic failure was seconds away. The safety barriers wouldn't contain an explosion of that magnitude. Then, impossibly, a shadow fell over the test chamber. Through the massive skylight above, Tahoe saw something huge block out the sun. The ground shook as if something massive had landed on the building. A beam of silvery light shot down from above, surrounding the engine in a bubble of energy. Inside this strange field, the engine's dangerous glow dimmed and stabilized. "What's happening?" Director Park gasped. Before anyone could answer, every screen in the room changed to show the same message. "We would be speaking with Tae-ho Kim alone." The room erupted in chaos. Security alarms blared. People shouted orders and questions. Only Tae-ho stood still, staring at the silver energy field around the engine. Something about that light seemed familiar. "Sir," a security officer approached. "We need to evacuate you immediately. We have an unknown craft on the roof. It's unlike anything we've seen before." Tae-ho thought of the mysterious designs, the crystalline patterns. "I want to see it," he said. "That's not advisable." "Take me there," Tae-ho insisted. Against all protocols, they took him up to the roof. What Tae-ho saw there made him freeze in his tracks. A ship rested on the landing pad. If it could be called a ship, it looked more like a living thing, white and graceful, with wing-like structures that gently moved as if breathing. Its surface shimmered with the same rainbow colors Tae-ho remembered from long ago. A doorway opened in the side of the vessel. Light spilled out, and a figure stepped onto the roof. The visitor looked almost human, but not quite. Tall and graceful, with pale skin that seemed to glow softly. Silver eyes caught the sunlight. Small scales shimmered at the temples and along the jawline. "Tae-ho Kim," the visitor said in a perfect, musical voice. "I am Ji-woo, diplomatic envoy of the Bakseong Collective." Tae-ho couldn't speak. The name Bakseong echoed in his mind. "White stars, white dragons. We have been watching your work with great interest," Ji-woo continued. "An old debt must be acknowledged." "Debt?" Tae-ho finally found his voice. "What debt?" Ji-woo smiled, revealing teeth that were just a bit too sharp to be human. "You once showed great kindness to one of our kind, a young one with a broken wing." Tae-ho's legs felt weak. "Back," he whispered. "Buck is alive." "Very much so," Ji-woo answered, "and most eager to see you again." "I need to see Bake," Tae-ho said, his voice shaking slightly. Around them, security personnel kept their distance, weapons ready but not aimed. Ji-woo nodded. "That is why we are here. Please, come aboard our vessel." Director Park stepped forward. "Mr. Kim, this is highly irregular. We don't know who these people are." "I do," Tae-ho said quietly. "At least, I knew one of them a long time ago." He turned to Ji-woo. "Will I be safe?" "You saved one of our young," Ji-woo replied. "You are under our protection for life." Tae-ho made his decision. "I'm going. Tell everyone to stand down." Inside the ship, Tae-ho gasped in wonder. The walls seemed alive, pulsing gently with light. The floor was solid but felt warm under his feet. There were no hard edges anywhere, just flowing, organic curves. "Our vessels are grown, not built," Ji-woo explained, seeing his amazement. "They are alive, in a way your ships are not." They moved deeper into the ship. Tae-ho saw other beings like Ji-woo, all with the same silver eyes and subtle scales. They nodded respectfully as he passed. "The Bakseong are space travelers," Ji-woo said. "We have been watching humans for centuries, but we rarely reveal ourselves." "Why did you help me?" Tae-ho asked. "With the engine designs." "That was not my decision," Ji-woo said with a smile. "You will understand soon." They entered a vast chamber at the heart of the ship. The ceiling arched high above, showing the stars even though they were still on Earth. In the center of the room stood a raised platform, and on that platform was a creature that made Tai-Ho's heart stop. It was Bake, but not the small, injured being Tai-Ho had known. This was Buck fully grown, massive and majestic. The dragon was the size of a small shuttle now, its white scales gleaming with inner light. The once broken wing was now whole and powerful, extending nearly 10 meters from tip to tip. "Back," Tai-Ho whispered. The great dragon lowered its head. Those silver eyes, now as large as dinner plates, were the same ones Tai-Ho remembered from 25 years ago. "His true name is Sum Min," Ji-Woo said. "He is the son of our previous leader, and now leads our collective himself." Sum Min made a soft clicking sound that Tai-Ho recognized immediately. It was the same sound the small dragon had made when Tai-Ho had first treated his wing. "He remembers you," Ji-Woo said, though Tai-Ho didn't need the translation. "I didn't think you survived," Tai-Ho said, stepping closer to the great dragon. "Your wing wasn't fully healed when you left." Ji-Woo translated Tai-Ho's words, though it seemed unnecessary. The dragon's eyes never left Tai-Ho's face. "Sum Min says he nearly didn't survive," Ji-Woo said after the dragon made a series of clicks and whistles. "He was young, on his coming-of-age journey, when he was injured in an asteroid field. He crashed on your moon by chance." Tai-Ho listened as Ji-Woo continued to translate. "When you helped him, you broke 15 of your company's rules. You risked your job and freedom for a creature you didn't understand. Such compassion is rare in the universe." Tai-Ho shrugged. "Anyone would have done the same." The dragon made a sound like laughter. "No," Ji-Woo translated. "They would not. Your company would have captured him for study. They would have cut him apart to learn our secrets." Sum Min lowered his massive head until it was level with Tai-Ho. Carefully, almost tenderly, the dragon extended a claw. It was the same gesture from long ago, when they had said goodbye at the airlock. Without fear, Tai-Ho reached out and touched the offered claw. Warmth flowed through him, and with it came feelings not his own: gratitude, respect, and a deep bond that had lasted 25 years. "He has watched over you ever since," Ji-Woo said softly. "From the stars." The meeting continued in a smaller room designed for humans. Tai-Ho sat at a table that seemed to grow from the floor. Across from him, Ji-Woo sat in a similar seat. Sum Min had shifted his form to something smaller, still a dragon, but now only the size of a large horse, able to fit in the room. "The Baxiong can change their size?" Tai-Ho asked in wonder. Ji-Woo smiled. "We control our mass and energy in ways humans have not yet discovered. It is just one of many technologies we have mastered." Sum Min made a series of clicking sounds. Ji-Woo nodded and translated. "Our leader wishes to explain why we have revealed ourselves to you now, after all these years of watching." Tai-Ho leaned forward, eager to understand. "The Baxiong have traveled the stars for thousands of years," Ji-Woo said. "We have found many worlds and many species. Some, like humans, have great potential." Sum Min clicked again, his silver eyes fixed on Tai-Ho. "We have a policy of non-interference," Ji-Woo translated. "We watch, we learn, but we do not share our knowledge until a species is ready." "And are humans ready?" Tai-Ho asked. Ji-Woo smiled. "Not all humans, but you are." A section of the wall shimmered and became transparent, showing Earth below them. Tai-Ho realized with a start that they were now in orbit. "Your engine design was close to something truly revolutionary," Ji-Woo said. "With a few small changes, it could change how humans travel among the stars." Sum Min moved closer to Tai-Ho and made more clicking sounds. "He says that the technology we shared with you through those mysterious computer files was just the beginning," Ji-Woo translated. "He wishes to offer you more. Much more." A hologram appeared above the table, showing ship designs unlike anything Tai-Ho had ever seen. Engines that could bend space. Materials that could withstand the heart of a star. This technology would make Kim Aerospace the most advanced company on Earth. Tahoe whispered. We would leap ahead of every competitor by decades. Jiwoo nodded. That is the intention. But there is a price. Tahoe looked up from the hologram. What price? Sungmin clicked softly. Jiwoo's expression became serious as she translated. We wish you to be the bridge between our species, the ambassador who will help humans understand us, and help us understand humans better. Me, an ambassador? Tahoe shook his head. I'm just an engineer. I don't know the first thing about diplomacy. Sungmin made a sound that Tahoe remembered as laughter. The dragon extended a wing, touching Tahoe gently on the shoulder. He says you knew how to be diplomatic with a scared, injured alien. Jiwoo translated. You showed wisdom and compassion when others would have shown fear and greed. That is the foundation of true diplomacy. Tahoe considered the offer. The technology would save his company and secure his future. But becoming an ambassador to an alien race, that was something he had never imagined. What about my company, my work? He asked. You will continue your work, Jiwoo assured him. In fact, it will be your cover. As your company releases new technologies, you will be our voice in human affairs. Tahoe nodded slowly. I'll need time to think about it. Of course, Jiwoo said. But be aware that others have noticed our arrival. Your competitor, Dayang Interstellar, has already filed reports with your government about unusual activity at Kim Aerospace. As if on cue, a communication device in the room activated. On the screen appeared the worried face of Director Park. Tahoe, where are you? Government officials are here asking questions about the test and the visitors. And Dayang has filed a formal complaint alleging we've made contact with non-Earth entities. They're claiming we're violating interplanetary protocols. Tahoe looked from the screen to Sungmin, whose silver eyes seemed to hold both wisdom and concern. It seems, Tahoe said quietly, that my time to think just ran out. 3 days later, Tahoe sat in his office at Kim Aerospace, staring at the small piece of technology in his hand. It looked like a simple crystal, but it held the designs for an engine that could take humans to the stars faster than ever before. The door opened, and Young-ho, Tahoe's assistant, entered with coffee. The board is very happy with our progress, Young-ho said, placing the cup on the desk. Everyone's talking about our breakthrough technology. Tahoe nodded, slipping the crystal into his pocket. He had accepted the Baekseong's offer, becoming their secret ambassador while introducing their technology to humans bit by bit. So far, only Director Park knew the truth. We need to be careful, Tahoe said. Dayang is watching us closely. Young-ho smiled. Don't worry about them. Focus on the next phase. He left, closing the door quietly. Tahoe sipped his coffee, thinking about his strange new life. Each night, he met with Jiwoo in secret, learning about the Baekseong culture. Sungmin's ship remained hidden in orbit, cloaked from Earth's tracking systems. The phone on his desk rang sharply. It was Director Park, his voice urgent. Tahoe, get out of there now. Security breach. Before Tahoe could respond, his office door burst open. 6 men in black uniforms rushed in, weapons drawn. Tahoe Kim, you are under arrest for treason against humanity, the leader said. Earth's Xenological Defense Force has authority in this matter. Tahoe stood slowly, hands raised. What treason? I've done nothing wrong. Unauthorized contact with alien life forms. Conspiracy to share Earth technology with non-human entities. The officer held up a datapad. We have evidence. As they led him away, Tahoe saw Young-ho watching from the hallway. The young man avoided his eyes, and suddenly Tahoe understood. It was you, he said as they passed. You sold us out to Dayang. Young-ho looked down. It's just business, sir. They paid well. The holding cell was small and cold. For hours, Tahoe sat alone, wondering what would happen to him, and to the fragile new relationship between humans and the Baxiong. Finally, the door opened. A stern woman in a military uniform entered. "I am General Ha," she said, "Director of Earth Defense Operations. I want to speak to a lawyer," Taiho said. General Ha ignored him. "We know about the dragon creatures. Your assistant provided quite detailed information." Taiho said nothing. "What you don't understand," the general continued, "is the opportunity here. These Baxiong have technology centuries beyond ours. With it, humans could rule this sector of the galaxy. They want peaceful contact," Taiho argued. "Trade, cultural exchange." General Ha laughed. "That's naive. Power is what matters in this universe. Tomorrow, our forces will capture their ship and their leader." Taiho's blood ran cold. "That would be a terrible mistake. You don't understand what they're capable of." "We understand enough," the general said. "We've been tracking their ship despite its cloaking technology. We know exactly where Sung Min is." After she left, Taiho paced his cell frantically. He had to warn Sung Min and Jiwoo. But how? Just as despair began to overwhelm him, the lights flickered. The cell door slid open silently. Jiwoo stood there, but not as Taiho had seen her before. Now she wore a human military uniform, and her scales were almost invisible. "We can hide our true nature when needed," she whispered. "Come quickly." "How did you find me?" "We've been watching. We know about the betrayal." Jiwoo led him down empty corridors. "Young Ho sold information to Dae Yang, who turned it over to your military." They'd reached an exit door. Outside, the night was dark and quiet. "They're planning to attack the ship," Taiho said urgently. "We need to warn Sung Min." Jiwoo's silver eyes flashed. "Sung Min already knows. But he won't leave without you." "Me? Why?" "A debt of honor," Jiwoo said. "He will not abandon the one who saved him, even at the risk of his own life." Taiho looked up at the stars, knowing Sung Min was there, in danger because of him. "Then we need to move fast," he said, "before everyone I care about gets hurt." Dawn broke over the mountains as a small transport ship rose from Earth's surface. Inside, Taiho and Jiwoo watched their planet grow smaller below them. "The military ships are moving," Jiwoo said, studying a display. 5 large vessels heading for Sung Min's position. "We need to get there first," Taiho said. "There must be a way to stop this before someone gets hurt." Their small ship accelerated, pushing Taiho back in his seat. Jiwoo's people had technology that made Earth's fastest ships seem slow. Soon, they approached the massive Baxiong mothership. It no longer hid in cloak. Its white, wing-like structure gleamed in the sunlight, beautiful and alien. "They'd dropped their cloak to save power for defense," Jiwoo explained. "A bad sign." As they docked with the mothership, Taiho saw the Earth military fleet approaching. 5 black warships, bristling with weapons, moved into position around the Baxiong vessel. Sung Min met them in the main chamber. The great white dragon seemed calm despite the danger. "You should have left," Taiho told him. "Why stay when they threatened you?" Sung Min made clicking sounds that Jiwoo translated. "He says that among his people, a life debt is sacred. You saved him, so he cannot abandon you or your world without trying for peace." A communication screen activated. General Ha's face appeared, stern and confident. "This is General Ha of Earth's Sinological Defense Force. Your ship is surrounded. Surrender your technology and your leader, or we will open fire." Taiho stepped forward. "General, this is Taiho Kim. Please listen to me. The Baxiong are peaceful. They want to help humanity, not harm us." "Traitor," the general spat. "Stand aside. This is no longer your concern. It became my concern 25 years ago, when I found an injured creature who needed help," Taiho said firmly. "Just as it's the concern of every human who looks to the stars with hope instead of fear." The general's eyes narrowed. "You have 10 minutes to surrender. Then we attack." The screen went dark. Tai-ho turned to Sung-min. "Let me go to their command ship. Maybe I can explain, make them understand." Sung-min clicked softly. Ji-woo's eyes widened as she translated. "He has another idea, a very old tradition among our people, the ceremony of gratitude." Minutes later, Tai-ho stood on the outer hull of the Baxiong ship in a special suit that protected him from space. Beside him, Sung-min had reverted to his true, enormous form. The Earth warships hovered nearby, weapons ready. Tai-ho opened a channel to all ships. "This is Tai-ho Kim. Before you fire, watch what happens. Then decide if these are the actions of an enemy." Sung-min spread his massive wings. They stretched wider and wider, glowing with inner light. The dragon rose from the ship's surface and flew in a great circle around the fleet. As he flew, his scales released trails of luminous energy, forming patterns in space. The patterns showed images, Earth ships being protected from asteroid fields by invisible guardians, human colonies being watched over by great winged shapes, and most clearly, a small human treating the wing of a small white dragon. "The Baxiong have been protecting us," Tai-ho said to the watching fleet. "For years, they've guarded our ships and colonies from dangers we never even knew about. All because one human showed kindness to one of their young." The military channel came alive with confused chatter. General Ha's voice cut through. "Stand down weapons," she ordered, her voice subdued. "I want to talk." 3 days later, Tai-ho stood in a large conference room. Around the table sat military leaders, government officials, and corporate heads. Across from them were Ji-woo and 3 other Baxiong representatives. Sung-min, in his smaller form, stood beside Tai-ho. "The treaty is signed," the Earth president announced. "Today marks the beginning of official relations between Earth and the Baxiong collective." Later, as people mingled and talked, Sung-min touched Tai-ho's hand with his claw. That familiar warmth flowed between them. "Ji-woo tells me you're going to teach Baxiong technology at the new Joint Academy," Tai-ho said. Sung-min clicked softly. Ji-woo, standing nearby, translated with a smile. "He says he would be honored if you would teach there too. Human compassion is a technology our people still have much to learn about." Tai-ho looked at the small white dragon who had grown from an injured creature to a leader who changed the course of 2 civilizations. "Full circle," Tai-ho said softly. "From fixing your wing to building a bridge between our worlds." Sung-min's silver eyes shimmered with what could only be described as joy.